Right, thanks Star. Today you've endorsed me for the Leadership Campaign for Leadership of UKIP, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We're going to be working hard on getting out a load of policies over the coming week. A real policy platform. This is going to be about policy and substance and not spin. And I know you've got a great number of ideas for reform for the NHS, for the way we can look at the most vulnerable in society, disability benefits and help for people who need help. Just wondering what kind of ideas you think we should start rolling out over the next week?
Well, first of all, I think they always forget the carers. So I think we should be looking at carers in a different light. My view would be that because they have to care for 35 hours a week and get something like £61.20, and they have to do those hours or they don't get the benefit, I would propose that we put them on at least the living wage for 35 hours. That will mean more people can be treated and looked after at home with families, bringing back that lovely multi-generational living that we all grew up with grandparents who were on our doorstep or living with us. So I want carers to be valued for what they do, because at the moment they get less in benefits than somebody who's on job seekers allowance. So that's something I'd like to bring in, and that will impact then, because there will be less people having to go into care in the homes. There will be less people having to stay in hospital longer because there isn't anyone to take care of them at home, and some people can't afford to give up their jobs to do the caring even though they'd like to. So I think that is one of the core things, and that just then brings everything else directly in. And if we base it around the carers and what they need, then the benefits will outweigh the investment.
Well, that's the beauty of this, is that, you know, it's probably people think it's uncharacteristic of me to be supporting something that would initially look like there's more spending involved, but it's quite obvious if you really look into detail that in the long term it's a saving. If you can stop people having to go and stay too long in hospital or be admitted in the first place, if you can make sure that the care homes aren't overloaded with people at a higher cost, by the way, than what we're proposing here, you're not only saving money, you're freeing up space in the NHS and in the whole system. So actually this is one of the rare occasions where you'll find me saying we spend money to save money in the long term.
Yeah, and I think that's essential. I mean, sometimes you have to invest in the right things to get a better result all round. It's not rocket science, it's just the way that the government goes about things. Everything's in tiny little pots. Rather than looking at everything like you would look at your home budget, like any woman or man or whatever do every week when they're deciding what they're going to pay for, what they're going to buy, well then that needs to be more centralised, rather than these trust here, trust there, and get rid of PFIs. They steal from the very sickest and most vulnerable in our society.
Exactly, and I'm glad you altered that to any woman or man then, because you and me wouldn't want to be seen as being politically incorrect, would be that something that wouldn't normally be what we do. But yeah, certainly with the PFIs, I think it's mugging the taxpayer.
Yeah.
And it's a way of keeping the spending off the books, and we all know it's going to come back and haunt us.
Yeah.
And all these parties that pretend to care, they don't care a jot. All they're doing is putting it back for the next generation. I think with some of the things that we can put forward, we can actually show that UKIP is the party that actually does care, and that'll be the difference.